And in San Diego is Muhammad Ali's longtime friend and author of the book Running with the Champ, Tim Shanahan. Tim, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
So how did you meet and become friends with Muhammad Ali?
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, how does this Irish Catholic white boy from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, befriend a black Muslim who is the most recognized face on the planet? Well, Muhammad had a simple explanation. He said, white boy, you had to be black in your previous life. And that's how I explain it, because when I met him, I was in Chicago, and I was a medical product salesperson. And I had joined a group called Athletes for Better Education. It was a nonprofit group that helped low-income area, Southside Chicago athletes, high school athletes, who were getting scholarships for athletics but weren't able to stay in school because of their grades. So we hired tutors to bring their grades up, so when they got their athletic scholarships, they would be able to be eligible. Once a month, we would have celebrities, professional athletes, celebrities, give a talk at one of our benefit dinners. One of my good customers was Dr. Charles Williams, and Dr. Williams said, why don't you get Muhammad Ali to come and speak there? And I said, I'd love to. How do you do that? He goes, I'm his personal physician. I can get him to come. So one day he said, Muhammad's coming to Chicago. He's looking for a home. He lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey at the time. And he said, I asked him, and he said he would definitely come and speak at your dinner. I said, wow. So the next thing I knew, I was meeting Muhammad Ali, and the first words out of his mouth, which made me feel at ease, he said, Tim, you're just like me. You're trying to help people. Anytime you want me to come to speak at this dinner, just let me know. I'll be there. So that's how we started our relationship.
That's such a great story. Tim, what is one of your favorite memories of him?
The most favorite memory that I have is when I have three of them right now that are going through my head. But my favorite memory is when I first met him. You know, that I was at his front door, and I was anticipating him coming to the door. And his front door in Chicago had two glass painted windows on each side of the door. And as I was ringing the doorbell, I was getting nervous, and so I peeked in to see if he was coming to the door, and on top of the stairs I saw this huge figure come around the corner in this beautiful robe with a hood, beige and brown robe, and looking majestic, and he's coming down the stairs, and he looks at the front door, and I duck back. I hope he didn't see me. Now, what do I call him? Mr. Ali? Do I call him Champ? Do I call him Muhammad? And as I'm thinking of that, he opens the door. Hi, Mr. Ali. I'm Tim Shanahan. I know who you are, man. Come on in. So we go in, sit down on the steps of his stairwell there, on the fourth step, and that's what he said when I sat down, is that, Tim, I know you're trying to help people, just like me. So anytime you want me to come and talk at this dinner, you just let me know. I'll be there. So that was my best favorite moment of meeting Muhammad.
Tim, you obviously know a lot more about Muhammad Ali's life than most people. Explain the legacy you think that he leaves behind.
When Muhammad was asked that, he said, what is your legacy? He always answers first, the legacy I want for me is my children. And after that, they say, well, what is your favorite memory in all of your boxing matches and all of your career? What's the most memorable moment? And he always leads with, my most memorable moment in my life was the birth of my eldest daughter, Miriam. So he leads with that, and then after that he says, the most memorable moment is the first time he won the heavyweight championship when he beat Sonny Liston. And he was 22 years old, and he was, you know, brash and young and boisterous, but underneath it all, he said he was afraid of Sonny Liston, this ugly bear, this ex-convict who was going to kill him in the ring. And he was an 8-1 underdog. So that was his best moment in his career, is when he realized that he could beat, after the first round, he realized he could beat Sonny Liston, and he got excited instead of scared, and he ended up beating Sonny Liston.
Tim, let me ask you, it's been so wonderful to see the footage of Muhammad Ali, the old film of him, and he had such a way with words. I wonder, though, away from the cameras, When it was just the two of you, what was it like? What was he like?
He was very calm, quiet, soft.
Quiet.
And very, yes, it's the opposite of what he is when he's promoting a fight. He's very serious, and he's always, you know what he always says is, he's always searching for wisdom and truth. And he always was curious and asking me questions and trying to get my perspective on what his views were. And one of the things that I was surprised about is that he didn't bring up religion at all. I mean, I'm Catholic and he was a Muslim, but he never would bring up religion, and it surprised me a little bit by that. And the next thing that surprised me is he said, well, our God is the God of all people, of all religions, of all ethnic races. And he said, so when I talk about Allah, I'm talking about God. And as you know, he was raised a Baptist, and he was, you know, his parents, his mother especially, and his aunts were very proud and devout Baptists. So when he became a Muslim, that shocked them. And he went against his family and his parents. So that surprised me too. So when I was with him alone, that never came up, and he never bothered to explain that to me. So I always wondered about that.
Yeah, but do you think there are lessons, the fact that, as you yourself have said, this Irish Catholic person could be such close friends with a Muslim black man?
Yes, I know. It's one of the things that he said, you know, white boy, you're just like me. You're serious when you have to be, but then you act a fool like me when you wanna. He said, remember this: a wise man can always act a fool, but a fool can never act a wise man. So I believe that was a connection there too. But we also like the same music. We like Smokey Robinson. I had a falsetto voice. We would stick in a cassette in his Rolls Royce and cruise around, and I would be singing Smokey Robinson, and once in a while he would turn down the radio to see if I was on pitch with my falsetto voice, and then he would turn it back up, and then he'd mimic me. And so we love doing that.
So wonderful to hear your memories. Tim Shanahan, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
The public funeral service for Muhammad Ali will be live streamed from Louisville. You can catch the full service on Friday, June 10th, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern, right here on CBSN.